Hey, what is up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another review, this time a review of a St. Martin watch, specifically the SN004 watch, which is a homage they did about the Tudor Black Bay 58. Now, I wanted to do a review of this watch because I found almost no review about this watch in this specific color, which is the blue variant. As you can see, let's start with the review of this watch. Now, some points before we start. Again, this is my watch. I bought this in full price. So as well as my other reviews on this channel, expect honest reviews only. This is a watch St. Martin did in collaboration with Watch Dives. This is not the first time they do a collab. They also did a collab for the Omega Aquaterra homage that I also have and that I also did the review. You can find it on the channel already. Now, this is the closest version St. Martin has about the Tudor Black Bay 58. They have another variant which I believe is the SN013 or 004, something like that. But that one is slightly different. That one is 41 millimeter case and also has the ceramic bezel that shines, so it's very different than this one. This is the closest one. Let's start by measuring, because if I'm not mistaken, this is actually 39 millimeter case, which is the same as the Tudor Black Bay 58. I'm gonna be doing another video comparing these two guys, so stay tuned and feel free to subscribe if you're interested in that video. I'm gonna be doing that next, and I think it's gonna be a very interesting video. So again, as I was saying, I really have a hard time finding a review of this particular watch. I found some with the black variant, but not with the blue variant. So I'm going to be giving my thoughts on this guy. I bought this because I wanted to have a homage of the Tudor Black Bay 58, and I'm gonna let you know at the end of the video if this watch worth it. I'm gonna be selling this watch, so if you are interested in this one, drop me a comment below so we can get in touch, because I tend to wear this watch way less than expected, so I'm gonna be selling this guy. Let's continue with the measurements. We have a 20 millimeter bracelet that tapers down to 16 millimeter. There you go. And the case, as I was saying, we have a ceramic bezel. This is very nice because we have a matte ceramic bezel, which is more original, more similar to the original Tudor Black Bay 58. Compared with the other homage they have, where the watch have a ceramic shiny bezel. Okay, so let me fix the camera a little bit. Let's measure the thickness of the watch. We have a 13 thickness, which is really nice. And also we have a Seiko NH35 movement, which means we have a ghost date position, because that movement has a date complication. So if we pull the crown to the first position, we have there a ghost position, and then we have another position that is the one that actually sets the hour. It's not a biggie, but just so you know, you will have a date position even though you don't have a date displaying on the dial. We have a signed crown, which is the usual on St. Martin. That is very nice. And also we have a brushed polish on the side of the case, different from the original one where we have polished sides. This one is brushed, which I actually prefer because it tends less to scratch. Okay, as you can see, the finishing on this guy is just stunning. it's just amazing how they finish things. They have no sharp edges, which is something I've heard about users complaining about St. Martin, especially in the early days, that they have really sharp edges. This is not the case. And if we see the tolerances where the bracelet meets the case, it's just so clean and so really well made. That is something you wouldn't expect on watches of this price. This is around 200, 250, depending on the season, and if you find it on a sale. So as you can see, the transitioning, the tolerances are very nice there. You have on the bracelet, if we start to check the bracelet as well, solid bracelet. We almost have no back play and still really comfortable. We find that they used high polish sides, which doesn't match the case, but this is something, you know, we are going to not notice most of the time, especially because we're going to be watching the face of the watch. So this is not something you should be worried about. Again, the bracelet on this guy, I don't know how you can get much better than this. I see a guy that compares the bracelet of the St. Martin watches to the bracelets that Rolex is making. I mean, it's just a bracelet, right? As long as it's well made, you reach a point where you cannot get better than that. And I think St. Martin is really on that point with the bracelets, that you simply cannot get better than this. As you can see, the brushing is just so clean, so nice. There's almost no gap in between the links, in between the center links and the side links. As you can see, the tolerances all almost perfect there, and the articulation of the bracelet is just so nice and so comfortable that it's just a, let's call it 9.5 out of the 10 bracelet. Again, you can, it's so hard that you get better than this. So again, there's a guy that compares this with Rolex. So you can, I'm gonna link that video in the description if you guys want to check it out, because honestly, you just can't get any better than this. On the clasp, this is a known clasp for me. This is not the first time I've seen this clasp. St. Martin sells this clasp by separate, and I'm using it, as you can see on other videos. I'm using this clasp on my Seiko SSK GMT. I also have this clasp on the $1 Tudor Black Bay that I adapt to this clasp. And also they are using this clasp on the homage that I reviewed about the Omega Aquaterra. That is a collab as well between St. Martin and Watch Types, which is another Chinese brand. We have on the fly adjustment here on the bracelet, which is really much appreciated in order to adjust. And as you can see, the finishing on the clasp is just really nice. You can see that is a really good finishing, feels really good quality, which is very nice. On the crown, we have a signed crown, which is really nice. And if we wanted to talk about the performance of the movement, which is really nice, just like all the watches I've been buying from AliExpress or Chinese brands, they are really good in calibrating the movements. I don't know why Seiko cannot do this, because all the Chinese watches I have, they outperform the original movement used by Seiko. I mean, I have, for example, the Seiko 5 SRP, which is the Seiko 5 diver line, which use the same exact movement than this guy, and that one just not perform as well as this one. This one is just between minus plus 1 second a day, which is just magnificent. And so that is something I really like about St. Martin. Now let's try this guy on. And again, as I was saying, I need to open the clasp a little bit. As I was saying, the bracelet on this one I prefer better than the one on the Tudor because it doesn't have the rivets on the side, which looks better. This is closer than an Rolex Oyster bracelet than the Tudor one that has this rivets links, which some people don't like, and also has that really small detail there in the side of the link, which we don't have here. This is way cleaner. Now my wrist is 6.1/4 inch wrist, so you have it in count, and as you can see, it looks phenomenal. It looks really good. Something I don't like about this watch, and you are going to call me crazy, but it's the fact of how the ceramic bezel looks. I'm not a big fan of it. I know it's technically better than the Tudor, which is aluminum. Again, I'm gonna be doing an in-depth review comparing these two watches, but I'm just not a big fan of the ceramic bezel, especially because when you see the watch from the side, the bezel tends to shine even more. If you compare, for example, the dial, if you see it there, it's like a light blue to light blue, as well as the bezel. But if the light hits different, then the dial tends to look darker, but the bezel tends to look lighter, and that's something I don't like. If you check the Tudor, the bezel is way darker, and I really like this tone better than this light blue. Again, it's a homage. You shouldn't expect it's gonna be the same color, but this is something I didn't like. The blue, it's like too blue for me. It's like too bright, even though the bezel is matte finish. Even though for the fact that it's ceramic, it tends to look way more blue and more light blue than it should, especially when you see it on angles like this. It tends to look, too light, a blue that is too light for me. I'm not a big fan of it. That is just personal taste. However, having count that this is not something that makes the watch worse or something like that. This is just personal preference. Now let's try the bezel action. And it's just so crisp, so clean, no back play at all. We have a 120 clicks bezel action, and it's just phenomenal. The bezel action on this is just great. Now let's check the lume, and again, St. Martin is using, I believe, BG9W lume here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's switch the lights off so you can see the lume. The lume is blue, which is really nice. It's a very nice tint of blue, and it's just magnificent. The lume here, it's gonna last. It's gonna perform just nicely. You have the pit lume, so you can use it for diving, 200 meters of water resistance, which is really nice to see. It's gonna last nicely, the lume, so you don't have to be worried about that. Now, does the watch worth it? The final most important question, does the watch worth it? I think it definitely does. If you want to have a alternative watch to the Tudor Black Bay 58 that doesn't looks exactly the same, again, even though they are basically emulating every single part of the watch, this watch just for some reason feels way different than the Tudor Black Bay 58. You're gonna be seeing that in the video comparison, but feels different. For some reason, this feels way different, feels closer in some regards to a Rolex Submariner. It's like a mix in between the Tudor Black Bay 58 and a Rolex Submariner. Looks way different, so have that in count if you're looking for something that is really close to the Black Bay 58. You might be surprised in how this one is not that close as you might think. Now, talking purely about the watch, does this watch worth it? I think absolutely does. St. Martin is providing really high quality timepieces. Bezel action is magnificent. Crystal is just so clear and magnificent. Lume is just magnificent. If you're going to use the watch for diving, it's just perfect. You have the sign crown. The thickness of the watch is nice, so you can use it to, for a classic look or for a sporty look. The watch is 39 millimeter, which I think fits for most of the wrists nowadays. Also, the bracelet is just phenomenal. Oyster style bracelet there. No sharp edges. On the fly adjustment clasp. I mean, what else can you ask for? The watch is truly a nice timepiece. Yes, it really, it's at the end of the day, it's a homage, but it's a really good quality timepiece. St. Martin is delivering very nice watches, so I think it does worth it. Again, if you are not bothered by using ceramic bezel, because remember, a lot of people are going after the Tudor Black Bay 58 because of the matte aluminum bezel. This is not the case. So it's, as I said, a middle point in between a Rolex Submariner, which uses ceramic bezel, gloss ceramic bezel, and the Tudor Black Bay 58 that uses aluminum bezel. So this is using like a matte ceramic bezel, so it's in between. But again, I think it's a tremendous timepiece that it definitely worth a try if you're looking for a watch that is an alternative of a Tudor Black Bay 58. I think this is the closest one. Don't go for the classic version. That one is 41 millimeter. Again, might work for you if you're looking at a bigger alternative, but this is a really nice alternative. So let me know in the commentaries below if you guys are planning to buy this watch. If you guys have it, let me know, and see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe.